what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club.
There are allegations circulating that Hollywood functions as a shadowy organization, with individuals supposedly resorting to extreme measures to eliminate artists they dislike. This ominous force is said to have uncovered a troubling means of profit, involving the unjust imprisonment of numerous young individuals, particularly targeting Black comedians. Ice Cube has recently added his voice to these claims, suggesting that there are also efforts to discredit and remove Katt Williams from the industry.
We saw Katt. You know, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike.
Katt Williams has collaborated with Ice Cube multiple times, creating a successful comedic duo on screen. Their chemistry is evident in films like Friday After Next and First Sunday. However, Katt himself has also made some allegations on the industry, so Ice Cube is responding to remarks made by comedian, writer, and actor Katt Williams regarding the pay, casting, and an alleged rape scene in the Friday film series. The rapper and producer took to X to address several statements made during Williams' recent interview on former NFL star Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast. In a 9-minute video, Ice Cube expressed his appreciation for Katt, who has been a vocal supporter, but he aimed to clarify certain points. Among them is the denial of any intention to film a scene, countering Williams' claim that he advocated for the removal of a assault sequence from Friday After Next. Ice Cube stated, "I would never shoot a R scene in a movie, especially Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. The plier joke was always in the script. We would never ever show that. That's not my style if you look at any of my movies." So that was never a discussion. In the scene Ice Cube is addressing, Katt Williams' character, Money Mike, is cornered in a bathroom by Terry Crews Damon, a recently released ex-convict demanding rent money from Craig, Ice Cube, and Day-Day, Mike Epps. Williams, during his interview with Sharp, revealed that in the original script, Money Mike was intended to be subjected to a assault in the bathroom, a plot point he strongly advocated to be removed.
The second thing I want to clear up, I would never shoot scene in a movie, especially like Friday.
According to Williams, the challenge with Friday After Next was attempting to create a classic comedy that involved a R scene, which he argued is never humorous, regardless of the circumstances or individuals involved. Williams conveyed to the filmmakers that if they allowed the movie to proceed without a Black man being subjected to it would be doubly entertaining. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy, and this comedy involves a R. An R is never funny no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are, he said. Williams added that he told filmmakers that, "If you would allow us to do this movie without a Black man getting R in it, I promise you it will be twice as funny." Katt Williams explained to Sharp that making the request for the removal of the R scene was a risky move, especially considering it was his first movie. However, he felt compelled to humbly and respectfully advocate for the change in front of the studios, the cast, and the decision makers.
That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they not raunchy. We did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter.
In response to Williams' recollection, Ice Cube highlighted a discrepancy in their memories. According to Ice Cube, during that point in everyone's career, there was a willingness to listen to a certain extent, but they were not going to alter the movie based on such requests from any actor. He emphasized that decisions were made based on what they felt was right for the film, and if a scene had been deemed appropriate, it would have been included. However, Ice Cube made it clear that such scenes were not in line with his filmmaking style. At that point in everybody's career, we will listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't going to change the movie for it. For any actor, he said in the video. We do what we feel, and if it was a scene, it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it, but that's not my style. In his extensive 3-hour interview, Katt Williams also addressed criticism regarding the compensation for appearing in the Friday film franchise, referring to those who complained as ungrateful. "What do you mean the independent Black dude who's filming it partly out of his pocket? What do you mean he didn't pay you enough?" he said. Expressing his frustration, Williams questioned the expectations of individuals criticizing payment when the independent Black filmmaker, partly funding the project out of his own pocket, was making the film. Ice Cube joined in to support Williams' perspective, highlighting that the majority of the budget for the Friday films was invested in the production itself. Ice Cube explained that many of the actors worked for only a few days, emphasizing the extensive financial requirements of filmmaking, including including payments for over 100 individuals working on the movie daily, as well as expenses for pre-production and post-production. He emphasized that even after the actors finish their roles, there are ongoing costs for editors, sound personnel, and other contributors to the film.
And look, a lot of people are talking about pay and how much they was paid on these movies that were extremely low budget. Most of these guys work.
Ice Cube expanded on Katt Williams' remarks, emphasizing that the majority of the budget for the Friday films was allocated to the film's production itself. He pointed out that many of the actors in the franchise worked for only a few days, highlighting the complex financial landscape of filmmaking.
And when you're doing a movie, there's over 100 people working on the movie that need to get paid. Most of them got to get paid every day.
Cube explained that when making a movie, there are over 100 individuals involved in various capacities, all of whom require compensation. This includes daily payments for most of the crew, covering pre-production and post-production costs. Cube emphasized the ongoing financial commitments even after the actors finish their roles, such as paying editors and sound personnel. Furthermore, Cube underscored his commitment to producing quality films, stating, "And my movies are all about quality, so most of the money goes up on the screen. I'm not giving you low-budget stuff you can laugh at because it's so cheap." This statement reflects Cube's dedication to delivering high-quality productions rather than compromising on the filmmaking process. In another segment of his 9-minute video, Ice Cube addressed Katt Williams' claims about writing credits on the third installment of the Friday franchise. Williams had mentioned in his interview with Sharp that Ice Cube approached him to write a fourth installment.
Well, the ungrateful that would say anything about Cube's payment, you shouldn't even talk to them anymore.
While not explicitly confirming Williams' assertion about being asked to script a new chapter, Ice Cube acknowledged Williams for his contribution in enhancing the role of Money Mike. He explained that originally, Money Mike's role was relatively small, comparable to the Santa Claus role. However, as Williams brought a unique magic to the character during filming, they expanded his role and added more scenes because of his outstanding performance. Cube clarified the filmmaking process, stating, "But we shoot to the script. Once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them 2-3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel." Ice Cube further clarified the casting history of Katt Williams in the roles of Robber Santa Claus in Friday After Next and Pimp Money Mike. In 2022, Ricky Smiley, who portrayed the Robber Santa Claus in the film, mentioned on the Pierre's Panic Room podcast that he was initially supposed to play the pimp role and Katt Williams was meant to be Santa Claus.
Auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting.
Williams addressed Smiley's statements during his conversation with Sharp, explaining that they both auditioned in Los Angeles, with Williams being audition No. 201. Williams highlighted that around 200 black comedians tried out for the role of Money Mike. Williams added, "Smiley told everybody it should have been my role. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was going to play Money Mike." Ice Cube provided his perspective, stating, "Ricky did give Money Mike a shot, but when we saw him and how he moved and how he was auditioning, we decided that he would be a better Santa Claus, which was to me the perfect casting. When we saw Katt, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike." Cube's explanation sheds light on the casting decisions and how they ultimately believed Katt Williams was the ideal fit for the role of Money Mike in Friday After Next. However, evidence suggests that this is not the thing that the industry wants. Katt Williams has risen as a prominent whistleblower, exposing the concealed realities beneath the glamorous facade of the Hollywood industry. With unwavering determination, Katt has recently brought attention to the hidden truths within the entertainment business.
And the fact of the matter is, we watched this right in front of our own face. And the nigga knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
Unhesitant to delve into controversial subjects that may make some uncomfortable, Katt Williams has boldly expressed his views. It seems that his outspoken nature has garnered disapproval from certain quarters within the industry. Various incidents hint at Hollywood possibly attempting to distance itself from Katt due to his unwavering and uncompromising stance.
Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with him. You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16.
It all happened when he did a show in October. The Ocean Center in Daytona Beach played host to a lineup of comedians who took center stage, delivering their unique brands of humor, each performance lasting a generous 12 to 15 minutes. Despite the diversity in their comedic styles, every comedian successfully elicited laughter, keeping the audience in stitches throughout the night. The humor extended to playful jests about audience members, including lighthearted teasing about white-on-white seat disputes.
Yeah, I feel you. Brooklyn in the house. Brooklyn don't bullshit. I was hanging with y'all for the last 2 days. They need to do Fear Factor here.
The highly anticipated moment finally unfolded as the headliner of the evening, Katt Williams, stepped into the spotlight at the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. Presenting the pinnacle of his Dark Matter tour, Williams delivered a comedic feast, expertly intertwining current events with his distinctive humor. The outcome was an enriching evening that left the audience filled with laughter and smiles.
So that means I have no opinions about Will Smith or Chris Rock? I don't involve myself in nothing, even the shit I see, I do not see.
In today's world, where people are constantly weighed down by the demands of work, family responsibilities, and a ceaseless barrage of distressing news from both television and the internet, it's becoming increasingly rare to experience those hearty, honest-to-goodness belly laughs that were once a staple of life. It's a connection, comedian John Ronson says. That's what this show's about. It's about us and the audience connecting with each other. There's something about being in the same room with somebody, reading each other's body language too. It's no wonder that comedy shows are finding themselves in high demand, not just across the nation, but around the globe. And when it comes to Katt Williams' show, there's an irresistible allure that beckons people away from the confines of their homes. Keen observers note that people are craving something, though not in the traditional sense of sustenance. Instead, it's a hunger for respite from the constant gloom. There's a yearning for a dose of lightness, a semblance of balance in a world that frequently appears off-kilter. When contemplating the humor icons of the 80s and 90s, it becomes evident why they occupy such a special and cherished space in our memories.
Having said that, you walk up here to slap me and you put your hand way up here. My job is to not be there.
For enthusiasts of Katt Williams, attending his show transcends a mere evening of jokes. It's an immersive experience that connects the absurdities of the world with the collective laughter of a like-minded audience. Fearlessly navigating the headlines of the day, Williams humorously pokes fun at everyone, from Trump with his mugshot to DeSantis in a yin-yang manner, and Biden alongside the concept of unclaimed baggage. He delves into the intricacies of reparations, adds a dash of humor about Ukraine, and playfully explores the enigmatic world of UFOs. Katt's fans might not articulate it perfectly, but his show is like listening to a fellow traveler navigating the labyrinth of the bizarre and the bewildering in our world. It's an opportunity for the audience to connect, to momentarily release the weight of the world, and to collectively chuckle at the sheer ridiculousness of it all. One of the attendees of the show wrote, "Glad to see Katt Williams back, one of the best to ever do it. When he exposed industry, they really tried to take him down, and did for about 13 years, lol." What makes it even more remarkable, according to his fans, is that throughout the performance, the comedians unabashedly poke fun at the very things that are supposed to divide us. In their own unique way, they bring us closer together, reminding us that laughter is a unifying force, even in the face of what might seem insurmountable differences. One of his fans wrote, "I hate to read too much into things, but knowing Katt's way, he still reveals much without saying anything. The slap was staged." This is where eyebrows began to raise, and people started connecting various mishaps in Katt Williams' life with his alleged dark revelations about the industry. Having launched his career in his teenage years, Williams has cultivated a comedy style that seamlessly blends articulate and razor-sharp dialogue with a perceptive insight into the ever-evolving American political landscape. His stand-up prowess has earned critical acclaim, as seen in memorable specials such as The Pimp Chronicles, Katt Williams, Pimpadelic, American Hustle, Catpacalypse, Katt Williams, Great America, and his most recent release, Katt Williams, World War III, on Netflix. He said in one of his comedy shows, "The past is something for you to learn from, and the future is something that you hope is going to happen. But I'm always speaking to my actual fans in present tense." Katt Williams' talents extend beyond the realm of comedy. He has also made a notable impact in the field of acting. Starting with a guest appearance on NYPD Blue in 2002, he made a memorable mark as Money Mike in his debut feature film, Friday After Next. His presence has adorned various TV series and films including Father Figures, Norbit, Scary Movie V, Epic Movie, Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore, along with iconic roles in The Boondocks and Wild 'N Out.
Say hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
This is your baby.
Williams' guest role on FX's critically acclaimed series Atlanta further solidified his talent, earning him a coveted Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series in 2018.
I am a person who does not seek validation. I make sure that when I leave the house that I feel tall enough and special enough, and as an actor I feel like.
Katt Williams, armed with a wealth of experience in the entertainment industry, has become a noteworthy figure unearthing the industry's well-kept secrets. He seems to possess an insider's knowledge, perhaps more than most, about the concealed truths lurking behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. With unwavering resolve, Katt has taken on the role of a whistleblower, fearlessly exposing eye-opening revelations that have reverberated like seismic shocks across the realm of entertainment.
And the fact of the matter is, we watched this get murdered right in front of our own face. And the nigga knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
In tandem with his exposés regarding the alleged conspiracy surrounding Michael Jackson's death, Katt Williams has also been an outspoken advocate for addressing the portrayal of Black actors donning feminine attire within the entertainment industry.
And it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a Black guy in a dress. Okay, well.
Katt Williams has showcased an unwavering resolve in addressing controversial and uncomfortable topics, refusing to shy away from subjects that others might prefer to avoid. His outspoken nature has, on occasion, appeared to unsettle certain elements within the industry. In fact, several incidents suggest that Hollywood may be making efforts to distance itself from Katt due to his steadfast and uncompromising stance on these crucial issues.
Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with him. You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16.
The concept that gaining a profound understanding of an industry necessitates direct experience is a common sentiment. Comedian Katt Williams, in a recent revelation, has added an intriguing layer to this idea. Williams has alluded to the presence of significant insights that could potentially illuminate the inner workings of the entertainment industry. In an interview, this time with Jamal Finkley on his YouTube channel Black Tree, Katt Williams reportedly provided additional insights into the alleged dress-wearing scheme that may be familiar to some. Katt shared his perspective on the contentious issue of Kevin Hart wearing a dress in his SNL skit, emphasizing that Kevin wasn't the sole participant in this purported situation. He claimed that Eddie Murphy and Jamie Foxx were also involved, standing alongside him, in what some perceive as a controversial practice within the entertainment industry.
Let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress.
Katt highlighted the irony in the fact that a significant portion of the audience found it amusing to witness a Black man wearing a dress. He believed that this reaction would not have been the same if the individuals involved were of a different racial background.
If that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a Black guy in a dress.
Despite Kevin Hart having firmly established his stardom, Katt cryptically alluded to the idea that Kevin must have had his own reasons for taking part in such roles, and he expressed respect for Kevin's choices in this regard.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
Williams carefully suggested that he had observed numerous artists encountering similar challenges repeatedly throughout their careers. Given Williams' observations, one might suspect that there could be a discreet effort to undermine the public image of Black icons by certain individuals or entities.
I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
In addition to his prior disclosures, Williams revealed the presence of a covert group known as the Illuminati. He asserted that this secret society encounters substantial resistance from within the Black community. The suggestion is that the Guardian, by indirectly supporting his statements and disclosing the society's name along with some of its notable members, has given weight to his allegations about this clandestine organization. He said, "It is the most elite club in the world. This is the Good Club," the name given to the tiny global elite of billionaire philanthropists. The names of some of the members are familiar figures: Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, David Rockefeller, and Ted Turner. But there are others too, like business giants Eli and Edith Broad, who are equally wealthy but less well-known. While Williams disclosed significant aspects of the agenda he believed to have originated from the elites, he issued a warning to fellow black artists, advising them to exercise caution and be wary of the potential influence or involvement of this secretive club.
It's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung a million times.
While it may sound somewhat exaggerated, the pimp emphasizes that his intended audience should heed his advice because he believes he has a deep understanding of the situation, having allegedly experienced the consequences of this supposed manipulation for many years.
I didn't understand that. They had to sting me a million times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little bit.
According to Katt, he wasn't the sole individual dealing with challenges and adversity, which is why he felt it was necessary to let go of certain matters for the sake of his own well-being.
I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles.
After enduring hardships for an extended period, Williams explained that he eventually came to a stark realization. He recognized that his outspoken nature, coupled with his candidness in addressing grievances, had exposed him to intense backlash. Although he hadn't initially anticipated the extent of hostility directed towards him, this experience expanded his perspective. He now comprehends that his actions, which he once considered as truthful but possibly irresponsible, were being manipulated and leveraged against him, with the elusive Illuminati allegedly benefiting from this situation.
That doesn't mean I always make the right decisions, but I am going to stand by what I stand for.
Indeed, Katt, known for his fearless approach, disclosed that he was privy to the true story of Bernie Mac and did not hesitate to share the industry's supposedly closely guarded secrets surrounding this matter.
I know that the people that made money off Bernie Mac didn't like him. They hated his guts.
Katt's revelation about his former idol may come as a surprise to some, but the next revelation is even more shocking. He claimed that Steve Harvey, everyone's favorite, has allegedly sold his soul to Hollywood.
I think Steve Harvey some stand-up ass old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss her ass. That's how he had the rating.
It's undeniable that Katt Williams is widely regarded as one of the funniest comics of his generation, known for his unfiltered humor and energetic performances in blockbuster stand-up specials. However, despite his talent and ranking among Hollywood's comedy greats, Williams hasn't received the same level of mainstream exposure as some of his contemporaries. One of his supporters said, "Unlike Kevin Hart, he hasn't taken on leading roles in blockbuster movies, and he doesn't host a show like Steve Harvey." Being hopeless, he once even said, "I'm just gonna go ahead and announce my retirement from stand-up. I'm kinda done. I've already discussed it with my kids. I wasn't really going to do it on a Seattle street. I was going to Los Angeles and do it in the offices of ICM or Live Nation." Speculation circulated for a while suggesting that Williams had been blacklisted from the industry, prompting inquiries into why he hadn't attained a comparable level of success as figures like Steve Harvey. It's noteworthy that Williams and Harvey have been at odds for over a decade, and there appears to be a substantial reason behind their strained relationship.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, Frankie, I didn't know nothing about this concept. When the promoter told me about it in October, I shot it down, because that ain't how I've ever promoted a show.
To unravel the roots of their feud, one must harken back to December 2008 when Katt Williams publicly criticized Steve Harvey ahead of a Christmas season show. This incident marked the initiation of their conflict, which has endured for over a decade. It's worth noting that Katt Williams and Steve Harvey have encountered disagreements with other comedians in the past, and this particular instance was no exception. Even one of his fans wrote, "Katt and Steve are both powerhouse comics of the modern era. That being said, I have never wholeheartedly invested all my confidence in Hollywood celebrities. People are people, and at some point will exhibit our imperfections. I take them all with a grain of salt so that my disappointment is minimal." Another one added, "I think real comedians are born with the talent to make people laugh and to be funny. It's not something that someone can teach you, they can give you pointers. Kay can just be present and make you laugh without saying a word, now that's a comedian." The genesis of their feud can be traced back to when Katt Williams openly challenged Steve Harvey, claiming that he could surpass Harvey as the king of comedy. This confrontation occurred before an upcoming New Year's Eve show where both comedians were slated to headline.
I was on the Steve Harvey show, and Steve Harvey, who is going to call in at 5:45 and get the record straight.
Reportedly, Jamie Foxx was also involved in this conflict. Foxx, who was working as a radio host at the time, played a clip of Katt Williams dissing Steve Harvey, which likely escalated the feud between the two comedians. "I want to apologize for what's going to happen," Williams said of the joint comedy gig. "But the second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy. Water seeks its own level. You can't stop it, Playboy. It is what it is, so I hope you're ready. I hope you got a team of writers. You're gonna need about 6 or 7 of them." In response to the clip, Steve Harvey called into the radio show and expressed his bewilderment regarding the entire situation.
You know, I've always been on tour with some real monsters, man. I toured with the Kings. You know, I've been on stage with Sid, DL, and Bernie Mac at the same time.
You see, Katt Williams didn't have fame and fortune handed to him on a silver platter. He had to build his comedic empire from the ground up, starting in Avondale, Cincinnati. He honed his craft by performing stand-up comedy in various venues across the country, from the lively streets of Oklahoma to the vibrant stages of Oakland. Fearlessly, Katt delivered his routines, perfecting his unique style along the way through hard work and dedication.
And act like ain't shit happened. You in the middle of a goddamn meeting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the movie with you, and then we're gonna go back.
However, at this point, you might have known that Katt Williams has become increasingly outspoken on various occasions, shedding light on what he believes Hollywood elites are truly up to. For this reason, many people believe that this has led to recent reports of him considering retirement from the entertainment industry. People believe that his plan to retire comes from his recent allegations. He has found himself in legal trouble, facing charges of burglary and trespassing, which have led to his confinement in an Atlanta jail. The arrest stems from suspicions of him breaking into a residence, as reported by the Associated Press. The alleged break-in occurred at a home in Newnan, located approximately 38 miles southwest of Atlanta. The homeowner reported the incident to the police, claiming that Mr. Williams gained entry by breaking into the home and that items were taken from the residence. The homeowner's name was not disclosed. It's worth noting that in July, gun charges against Katt Williams were dropped in connection with an incident that occurred in New York in November 2008. During that incident, he was pulled over by the police for driving a car without license plates, and a gun was discovered in the vehicle. Additionally, the comedian sought medical care later that same month after displaying suspicious behavior in Sumter, South Carolina, where his family resides.
You all right, though? No comment?
Hit him with that Emmy. Pop him in the head with the
Let
Emmy.
me see if I got this right. You're saying that if somebody pulls a gun, they're gonna not shoot you because you did what?
However, his fans, and according to Ice Cube's recent statements, that there might be some powerful forces behind all the recent attacks and his allegations, because Katt's recent tour and podcast has also ignited the matter. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.